Happy Friday, everybody. I'm glad you could join me here today. We're going to have some really delicious fun. Um, we are, just hang on, let me click where I need to click here. Okay. We are going to make some scrambled eggs today. There we go. Okay. We're going to make some scrambled eggs today, but these are not just any scrambled eggs. These are French toast scrambled eggs. And there's no toast. I know, right? Okay, so we're going to do this and we're going to have fun. It is going to be absolutely delicious. You want to hang around for this because you've probably never seen anything quite like this before. Okay. Oh, itchy nose. And I had whipped cream last night, so if I'm clearing my throat, it's just a thing. Sometimes you have to pay the price for what you choose to do. And I know that about me. I know that if I eat whipped cream the night before, I'm all the next day, but I do it anyway. Okay, this is easy. You're going to love this. Anybody can do this. Now, if you are watching and you live by yourself, this is a small recipe. You can make it just for you. If you have other people living in your household with you, you can double it, triple it, quadruple it, make it 10 times. Doesn't matter. You can do it, and it's easy peasy. You can do it for a crowd. You can do it for one person. And you know what I just realized? Again, as usual, I forgot to hit do not disturb on my phone, but we've got it now. So we're not going to be disturbed again. Okay. First thing you need is a bowl, and it would probably be really helpful if you could actually see what I was doing. Okay, so we have a bowl. Oh, let's see if we can't get this arranged so that you can see what's going on here. Okay. Well, here we go. No. It just is what it is. But mostly you can see the bowl, so we'll just call it good. Okay, so we're going to put the bowl over here. I know what I can do there. That makes it better. Okay, first thing we're going to add is 2 tablespoons of powdered erythritol. Now, the powdered part is important in this because you don't want it to be all grainy when you go to eat it. And this doesn't take very long to cook. It isn't going to give the granules enough time to melt. We're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now the 1/4 teaspoon of salt is going to really bring out the flavors that we want to bring out in this, and I will show you that just in a second. And then we're going to add a full teaspoon of TSL Organics Ceylon cinnamon. Now, if you have not had my Ceylon cinnamon, I really highly recommend that you do. It is amazing. Okay, now these are all of the dry ingredients that we have, and we're going to whisk those together, and we're going to make sure that we're not going to get a lump of salt, a lump of cinnamon. The sugar will break up on its own. I'm not too worried about that. Now, you can always sift this afterwards. Okay, but we're going to whip this up really well. Now you can probably see that there's some dusty, smoky, well, that is just the powdered sugar. So if you don't have powdered erythritol, all you have in the kitchen is granular erythritol, don't worry about it. Throw some in your blender or your spice grinder. Works really well, and it's actually cheaper to do it that way. It's a little bit more labor intensive, but it's cheaper. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add 2 large eggs. And toss away the egg separator. Now we're not separating these eggs, but you remember the other day we did separate oh, and look at me go. I just managed to put a bunch of eggshell in here, and this is why you should always crack eggs in a separate dish. Okay, so now we get to grab these out of here, make sure that we don't have any shells. Okay, I think I got them. And we're just going to turn that off for a minute since we're not quite ready for it. Okay, now, next we need 1 tablespoon of whipping cream. And that is about 1 tablespoon. And then we're going to add something a little bit unexpected. Now this is Watkins maple bacon flavoring. If you don't know where to find a Watkins dealer, get hold of me, because we have a wonderful Watkins dealer in the town that I live in, and I know they would be happy to help you get your hands on this. Now I'm going to put half a teaspoon. Oh, there. I'm going to put half a teaspoon in here, and I know that seems like quite a lot for 2 little eggs, but there's a reason for it. So what we're doing is now we're going to beat this up. We're mixing this up so that we have scrambled eggs with no bread. And scrambled eggs with no bread, and if you want it to be keto and carb free, needs to have the maple syrup built in. Now if you want to cook bacon and have bacon with this, so you're having bacon and scrambled eggs, you can definitely do that. And make sure that you beat this up well, so you've got, if you haven't sifted it, make sure that you beat it up well. And you're going to smell that wonderful smoky maple bacon in there. And when you eat it, you taste the maple syrup. Now we've sweetened it with powdered erythritol, so that's awesome. You've got the sweet for the syrup. Now you've got the maple and the bacon. And should we do some bacon? Maybe. Okay, now I want to talk to you guys today about bariatric surgery. I was approached by someone the other day who told me they were thinking about doing bariatric surgery, and they thought that that was going to be a better answer than keto. Now, first of all, I am going to say I am not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, and I'm not a scientist, keto or otherwise. I am, however, someone who has had bariatric surgery. Bariatric surgery is not a bad thing. If you need it, it's not a bad thing. If you're using it as an answer, and I don't care what kind of bariatric surgery you're talking about, whether it's a gastric bypass, a gastric sleeve, or gastric banding, all of them are invasive. All of them are messing with you, helping you to think that you don't have to do the work. And I'm here to tell you, you do have to do the work. The work, it doesn't go away. Now I'm going to put just a wee bit of olive oil in here. And where is my cloth? It was just here a minute ago. Huh. Well, it's a good thing I had. Oh, there it is. Okay. So bariatric surgery is not a bad thing. Bariatric surgery can be very helpful depending on your condition. But did you know that bariatric surgeons now, for the most part, are recommending keto? Because low carb gets rid of a lot of the food cravings. Now we've got this pan nice and hot. And we are just going to pour this in here. Huh. Well, look at that. Forgot one little piece of shell that I didn't know was there. I guess I didn't forget it. I didn't know it was there. Okay. Now we want to get all of this yumminess out of here. Now you might need 3 eggs or 4 eggs. Just increase your spice and your sweetener. Okay, I'll get that last little piece of eggshell out of there. Now, you want to watch the edges of this. You see how they bubbled up? That tells me that the pan was hot, and we need the pan hot. So, we're just going to start pulling that into the middle, because we don't want this to be a keto omelet. We want this to be scrambled eggs. And every time you let the raw part out, it starts cooking. And when it gets almost done, we are going to add a full tablespoon of butter. I know that seems like a lot of butter, but trust me when I tell you it is not. A full tablespoon of butter is going to make these eggs creamy. And besides that, what is French toast without butter? You just can't do it. It's not a thing. So now we're going to mix this butter into our French toast. And a lot of people do not know that eggs do not have to be cooked to death. You don't want hard little bouncy egg nuggets that are almost unchewable like you get at buffets. And you want beautiful, creamy, lovely, delicious scrambled egg. And then you take these 2 eggs and you pour them on a plate. Now you can serve this with bacon. You can serve this with whatever you like. And you can switch it up. So this one is a traditional French toast recipe. This one has cinnamon in it. This one has powdered sugar in it. And you can put a little bit of powdered sugar on top if you want. And if you don't want, you don't have to. This is almost ready. Almost ready to serve. Now, however you are going to decorate your plate, that is so wonderful. Now, the final thing to go on top, now you can add a little bit of powdered sugar if you want, but some whipped cream. Because whipped cream makes everything better, even if it does make me a little froggy the next morning. And if you want to add a few raspberries or blueberries to this, you absolutely can. And if you have a mold that looks a little bit like this, a French toast or a toast shaped mold, you can cook it in that too if you like. You really don't even miss the French toast in it. It is absolutely delicious. And had you had any type of bariatric surgery, this would be a perfect meal afterwards. It is so important to remember that anything that you do for you needs to benefit you. And it isn't enough. There we go. It isn't enough to just go to a doctor and say, I don't want to do the work. I've tried. It's hard. I'm never successful. Have you tried keto? And I have people come to me all the time and they say, I tried keto and it didn't work. I tried keto and I lost 75 pounds, and then as soon as I quit keto, I gained it all back. Well, yeah, of course you did. Because you went back to eating the way you were that got you that 75 or 50 pounds or whatever it was heavier in the first place. You cannot go back to the way you lived before. You have to live a keto lifestyle. You have to live a lifestyle that is going to support good nutrition, is going to support good energy in your body. You need to do that. So what they are recommending now is that people do, at the very least, low carb. Now, keto really is the extreme end. So that's something to keep in mind. But low carb is just a good way to nourish the human body. It's feeding our bodies the way our ancestors 30, 40,000 years ago fed them. We are officially feeding our Stone Age bodies a Space Age diet, and our bodies have not caught up. Never in human history did we eat the amount of carbs that we eat now. And eating carbs causes cravings for, guess what? Carbs. So you crave carbs. What do? You eat more carbs, which causes more cravings for, guess what? carbs. And so what is causing you to gain weight? What is causing the inflammation in your body? What is different between how we live now and how we lived 30,000 years ago? And granted, pollution is definitely an issue. The number of people on the planet, definitely an issue. The number of children that we have, the amount of stress with our work, there's all kinds of things that are different. But what is the major thing that is different, that can be changed, that's contributing to our chronic diseases? Chronic diseases like obesity, chronic diseases like hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's syndrome, chronic diseases like high blood pressure, heart disease. None of these things existed 30,000 years ago, and anthropologists have shown that. Do you know how they tell when they find a very old, and I'm sure I've said this before, but how they tell if they find a very old skeleton, whether that skeleton came from an agricultural area or a non-agricultural area? They look at their teeth. And if there are dental issues, it was definitely from an agricultural area. So we know what we know. And we know that people did not die of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes wasn't even a thing. Most doctors up until about 1920, 1930, doctors could go through their entire career without ever seeing a heart patient and without ever seeing a type 2 diabetic. Now, what does that tell you? Now, immediately after that, in the 30s, was when we started to see a tremendous amount of processed foods. And what did we see in the processed foods? We saw equal amounts of sugar and fat. Boom, there it was. Never had we eaten that much sugar. Never had we eaten that many carbs. Never had we eaten food as refined as what we were getting once the processing insanity started. And here we are. And now we are inundated with fast food restaurants and coffee shops that have all kinds of weird and wonderful creations that are full of all kinds of processed food. This whipped cream, this is made with cream. You know why they call it whipped topping? In a lot of places, including your grocery store. If you pick up a package of whipped topping in your dairy section, do you know what you're getting? Because it's not whipped cream, I promise you. But they can make those petroleum products taste really yummy, can't they? I like to keep the petroleum products in my car. So, if you are contemplating keto and you've tried it before and it didn't work, and you talked to somebody and you read a thing and you bought all the supplements, I'm going to tell you, first of all, do not ever buy keto supplements. You don't need them. Keto is not about 16 bottles of pills that you can get for the low, low price of however many hundreds of dollars a month. You don't need that. Keto is about the food that you buy, about the groceries in your house and the way you prepare them. Now, if you don't want to have all kinds of chronic diseases, and you'll notice when I said diseases earlier, the first one that I mentioned was obesity, because it is now recognized as a disease. And it can be treated. And it needs to be treated kind of like you treat an allergy. If you have a peanut allergy, you don't eat peanuts. If you have a shellfish allergy, you don't eat shellfish. If there's something that you are eating that is causing inflammation and bloating and weight gain, and you stop eating it, that seems pretty easy, doesn't it? So what is it that's doing that to us? Carbohydrates, potatoes, French fries, all of the vegetable oils that never one time have come from a vegetable. Vegetables do not have oils. True story. And when you eliminate all of the things that are making you sick, amazingly, your body starts repairing itself. So I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to ask some questions. I want you to think about what it is you want for your health, for your body. Are you struggling with PCOS? If you've got it, you know what those letters stand for. There has been a tremendous amount of success treating PCOS by putting girls on, you guessed it, a keto diet. Are you dealing with different kinds of cancer or a single kind of cancer? Do your research. There has been a tremendous amount of success dealing with cancers using keto as a standard of care. Because if you starve the cancer, it goes away. There you go. So, whatever it is you're dealing with, just know that you can deal with it all by yourself without any surgical intervention, but never without medical intervention. I always recommend strongly that you include your health team and make sure you have a team. I had somebody say to me the other day, I don't need a keto coach. I am a coach. Okay, good. You're a coach. That's awesome. I know exactly what it takes to get there. So how has keto been working for you? Wow, she said, I tried it. It isn't sustainable long term, and it didn't work for me. I didn't lose any weight. I said, okay. So why is it that it works for so many people and it didn't work for you? And she said, I don't know. And I said, you might have been able to figure that out if you had had a coach that was knowledgeable in the keto lifestyle. A coach that was knowledgeable and had professionals to go to when there was any kind of a question about why it isn't working. So that was kind of a shameless promotion of my coaching practice. But if keto is something that you have tried or you want to try, and you want to do it in a way that is going to be beneficial for you, send me a message. Let me know. Because you don't have to do it by yourself. And whether you get hold of me or not, there are keto support groups. There are people that you can ask questions of. You can join me here 3 times a week, Sunday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. and Fridays at noon. And you can ask questions. And you can find out how to cook low-carb foods that are going to be perfect for your lifestyle. And this one that we did today, it doesn't much matter whether you're doing keto or carnivore. You can still make this work. Although, you are adding a little bit of erythritol in there. So, that would be a decision that you would have to make. But, oh, and by the way, I am never without my cup of coffee when we get together. And Da Vinci toasted marshmallow. So, I hope you have a cup of coffee as well, and I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you heard what I said. You are not all by yourself, and you need a health team that is going to support you and help you reach your goals. I would love to be one of the people on that team if you need somebody to fill that particular spot. But one way or the other, talk to your doctor. Look online for keto support groups, and do not believe all of the naysayers that say it's not sustainable, it's dangerous for your liver, it's dangerous for your kidneys. I'll tell you, I've been doing this for 3.5 years, and I have not had a kidney stone, but I had kidney stones more than once when I was eating a high carb diet. So, let's do that math and see what we think. You've got this. You don't have to do it alone. And especially in the world that we live in right now, when sometimes you really do feel like you're all alone, reach out to a keto group, a keto page. Reach out to me, reach out to your family members, and do not let other people make your decisions for you. Find people to surround yourself with that will support you in the health decisions that you're making. And if you do that, and you absolutely insist that you believe in yourself, it will be amazing the difference that keto will make in your life and in the lives of your loved ones. if you have a spouse, if you have children, if you have parents living with you. Keto is not just for people that are overweight. Keto is a good way to nourish the human body, period. Doesn't matter what human you're talking about. So, go forth and make some French toast scrambled eggs. Because you won't be sorry. And your children and your spouse and your parents, whoever it is that you're cooking for, but especially that person that you look at when you look in the mirror, they're going to love it. So, go and do that. Let me know how your scrambled eggs turn out. I know it seems like a lot of cinnamon for 2 eggs, but it really is not. So, look for me at the markets. Monday, I will be at the community market in Ponoka. You can find me there. You can also find me on Wednesday in Wetaskiwin at the farmers market there. December 4th, you'll find TSL Organics in both Rimbey and Innisfail. So we're going to be all over the place. Yeah, watch for us. And you're going to want to join me on Sunday because now you can see I'm getting ready for Christmas because, you know, American Thanksgiving is over. It's time to start getting ready for Christmas. So we are going to, on Sunday, make a non-alcoholic eggnog. So let's make an eggnog that the whole family can enjoy. Now, if you want to put a little dash of rum in yours, you can do that. But we're going to make it in a way that everybody is going to love and everybody's going to be able to enjoy, whether it's the kids or the grown-ups. So from now until we get together on Sunday, do your very best to live your best version of this shining life. And before you let someone do something as radical as bariatric surgery, please, please do your research. Reach out for some help because you're not alone and it's not the answer. And I know it isn't because I had bariatric surgery in 2009 and I lost 45 pounds and I didn't have the support that I needed from the clinic. Nobody knew at that time about keto, so nobody told me about it, and I ended up going right back up to where I had been before I started. It is not an answer. It's a tool. And if you don't use it right, you just stretch your stomach back out to where it was. The difference being, depending on what you have done, you can definitely be dealing with the rest of your life, or for the rest of your life, with vitamin deficiencies. True story. Ask the questions. Do the research. Reach out for some help from whoever it is that you reach out to. But before you let somebody do something that radical to your body, make sure you know what it is you're doing and why it is you're doing it, because it is not an answer. 5% of the people who get bariatric surgery done have long-term weight loss and get down to where they wanted to be and stay there. 5%. Those are pretty tiny odds. A lot of people who try for it don't even lose enough weight to qualify for the surgery. You don't have to qualify for keto. So, give it a try. You've got nothing to lose. And do your research. Get a coach. Talk to your doctor. Find a keto nutritionist or a keto dietitian. They can help you too. Surround yourself with people who are going to be part of your health team. And until Sunday, do your very best to live your best version of this shining life. That's what I'm going to do while I'm eating these French toast scrambled eggs, where no bread was harmed in the making of these eggs. So have a great Friday, everyone, and I will see you Sunday morning at 10 a.m. to make keto eggnog. Cheers.